So we need you to keep the app open until we get to 100%. That means that everything is fully uploaded.
So you're talking about at the end?
At the end, yeah.
Yeah, well, just make sure you're at 100.
It usually only takes a few seconds, unless you're David, and then it takes like forever.
I don't know. I got janky internet for some reason.
That Bama Wi-Fi.
Already off to a great start. Awesome.
I cut the camera just to see if it
refresh.
Been a long day, man.
Knock it off, Chuck. You're acting like you got 3 interviews today.
And I finished editing the episode 1 minute before it went live today.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw it broke live, and I was like, Jesus, this is
Sunday fun day.
Sunday fun day, burning the midnight oil.
Yeah, where'd Derek go?
Yeah, let's hang out for 1 minute. We need to tell him his camera looks fine. I don't know. He's over there fighting for his life with that camera. We'll hold up just so it doesn't look weird. There you go.
There he is.
Hey, man, it looks fine. What are you worried about?
No, my wife tried calling me on Facebook Messenger, and it totally destroyed my Bluetooth connection. Yeah.
Okay.
I told her I was going on an interview. It's like, come on.
Is she calling to remind you to not forget your interview?
Yeah. Is there any rules against drinking during the stream?
Nope.
I'm not alcohol, but just energy.
Yeah, no.
Energy.
You can
all good.
I can't do an episode of the show without drinking, so. Although that usually happens during the editing.
I just want to make sure you guys don't have like a drink sponsor or something, and I'm here drinking the editor's drink.
Brought to you by Prime.
Not yet.
All right, in 3, 2.
You're watching Diecast Breakdown with Chuck Ellis, David Johns, and Mark McHotwheel. So sit back, strap in, and hang on. The breakdown starts now.
Hey there, folks. Chuck here, and welcome to Diecast Breakdown. So glad you're here with us today. I want to give a special thank you to the executive producer level patrons that make this show go. Along with the rest of our patrons, you can learn how to join their ranks at diecastbreakdown.com. But our executive producer level patrons get a little extra thank you at the beginning of the show. They are First and 64th Customs, Dane Self, DrivenDreams.org, Elevation Diecast Racing, Jason, Jay Goldenberg, Lewis, Big Lou Tanahara, Mad Visions, Reviews Through Another Lens, Twice Diecast, and Video Geek Productions. You can check out how to get these cool shirts that we wear over at diecastbreakdown.com. You can go to drivendreams.org over at diecastbreakdown.com if you don't feel like going there directly. You can find links to all our other channels at diecastbreakdown.com. In short, go to diecastbreakdown.com. You can also click the little subscribe button, the share button, the join button, the like button, and all the other little buttons that go below this video if you're watching us on YouTube. That's a great way to help spread the love. Speaking of spreading the love, we are excited today to be joined by my co-host, Mr. David Johns. David, how you doing today?
Good, man. We're going big.
We're going big.
Stick around
because we're already home, so we can't go home. And our special, very special patron / sometimes co-host, always good friend, Derek, aka Honest Diecast. Derek, how you doing today?
Doing excellent, Chuck and David. Great to be back, and hope everybody is well.
Yeah, thank you very much. We are very well, and I am thrilled to be talking to our guest today. We know him as Dustin. You know him as DeeMo's Diecast on YouTube. DeeMo, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you guys for having me.
So,
yes,
for those who may not already follow your channel, what is DeeMo's Diecast, and where did that idea spring from?
So the channel mainly focuses on just basically all brands and all sizes of diecast. I like to do reviews and just new stuff, as new as I can get it at least, and give reviews to the community out there, kind of help people who may be on the fence about ordering something or just want to see it beforehand. And this all got rolling because of Mr. Derek, Honest Diecast. I followed his channel for probably a couple of years before I actually spoke with him, met him, etc. Then I recognized that he had a page on Facebook, so I joined the Facebook page, and then just through posting and stuff like that, was able to, strike up conversation. And man, the rest is history. We've been really, really, really good friends ever since. I'm proud to call him a friend and not just somebody that I'm associated with, due to my diecast page. But yeah, so based upon just conversations with him and us discussing diecast, going over stuff, he encouraged me to start a channel. And it probably took a solid like six to 8 months before I picked my feet up, stopped dragging them, and got the ball rolling. I believe it was last year, just after Diecast Supercon. That was when the first video was published. So yeah, man, couldn't be more thankful, couldn't be more happy. Again, his channel like just captivated me, right? The way he was able to just hold live shows and interact with everybody. And I thought that was super cool. And just through watching that, became a fan. And so like, you know, to meet somebody that you're a fan of and that you appreciate is really, really cool. So
love seeing the hobby grow. Good job on Derek. What an ambassador he is for the hobby.
Indeed.
I always say, don't meet your heroes unless your hero is Derek at Honest Diecast.
He always says that.
Hey, Chuck, that's better than the time when you were telling everybody just unsubscribe from everybody else and just only subscribe to Honest Diecast.
I did do that once. I was like,
hilarious.
why are you subscribed to this channel? Just unsubscribe from right now. Just go subscribe to Derek and Honest Diecast, because that's the only channel you need, really. You get all the stuff you need, all the stuff you ever need about diecast and more. You don't need this channel. You don't need anybody's channel. You know, Ministry of Diecasts, Lamley, don't worry about them.
Heck no. All Derek, all the time.
Yeah. So, although you do cover more in like 2 hours of your live streams than most diecast publications cover in a quarter. So, you know, there is a lot of action that happens on those live streams. All the diecast tea gets spilled. All the deep thoughts about the community.
He's solving all the problems.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, we're not here to talk about Derek and make him
enough about me.
Make him blush. But so DeeMo, did you actually go to Diecast Supercon, or were you just like, was this after watching his video?
I did. So it was really actually like, it was super crazy. My wife and I just had a long weekend planned to get away, just to go to Vegas, hang out, you know, leave the kids and just go and enjoy ourselves. And it just so happened to be the same weekend as Diecast Supercon.
Wow.
Right. So he's like, well, why don't you, or he invited me. And I said, well, when is it? He goes, told me the weekend. And I'm like, the wife and I we're going out of town. We won't be available. He's like, oh, cool. Where are you guys going? I'm like, Vegas. He's like, it's in Vegas. And I'm like, no, bro. So
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know, the wife was probably a little bit bummed. I didn't take all there.
I was about to ask.
That's smart. That's very smart.
No, we definitely did our thing, but we did spend a full day at the Diecast convention. We did some room shopping, and it was kind of cool because she's not, 100% like involved with everything I do. So she was actually kind of surprised to see how everything goes down, right? Like to see the convention floor, see how many people are there, to go in the rooms and see these guys like, basically pimping out the hotel's room as their own store, right? And that was my first time as well. So I've seen videos, I've seen pictures, I've heard stories, but to go there and see it and just in and out of the rooms, man, it's a lot of work. It's a lot. I can only imagine the work those guys go through to set up and then to hit everything, right? So you don't miss something. Was a lot of work. But yeah, it was a great show. I had fun. A lot of fun. It was my first and only convention so far.
Back with more Diecast Breakdown after this word from our sponsors. Legendary Hollywood concept artist and designer Fireball Tim Lawrence has created 3 exclusive pieces of automotive art based on the 3 hosts of Diecast Breakdown. Get these and other brilliant designs printed on mugs and more at fireballtimgarage.art today.
Cast Heads Magazine is a digital publication dedicated to enhancing the lives of collectors all across the world by providing information on new models, reviews on brands and diecast accessories like figures and dioramas, throwing light on customizers, photographers and people who contribute to making the diecast world vibrant. Subscribe to Cast Heads for free and look for collaborations with Diecast Media Network at castheadsmagazine.com.
And now back to Diecast Breakdown.
Tell me real briefly, like as advice to somebody considering, talk about how, man, it almost kind of takes your enjoyment of the hobby up a level. And I'm not saying it like maxes it out, but it does take it to another level. Derek can speak to that. Like it's different when you're hitting Walmart and Target every weekend, but when you go and meet other collectors and meet people like, dude, I've watched your videos. I mean, that's a whole different experience. Talk about that a little bit.
Way different than like even a local toy show. We have a local toy show that goes once a month, usually second Sunday a month. And you go in, there's tables set up and everything. But when you step into a convention, this convention specifically, the floor is massive, right? There's every single brand of diecast that you could possibly think of. So you gotta like, and I didn't know this then, but now when I go back, I'll have an idea of what specifically I'm looking for, because it's so overwhelming to just go and browse, because every table has 10 or 15 things that you want, right? Or that you collect. So I think next time the best mentality would be go with a list of things that I'm missing, things that I can't find on eBay or maybe overpriced on eBay, etc. And try to find those specific things and a little bit more focus. The room shopping was awesome. Again, going in, it's just so much stuff for trade, for sale, even guys that buy, right? If you got a few things that you're looking to get rid of, you can make some good trades. There's guys there who are looking to buy. Great experience, man. Like, it's just fun. I met a lot of people through Derek because I don't really know too many people in the community as far as like outside of my city. But he introduced me to a few guys. And then just like you said, meeting people, he introduced me to Mike from RDDC. There was a young man that was selling like rail riders and resin 3D printed engines and stuff. I forget what his company was, but we spoke with him. So
Hayden.
Yeah. What is it? Hayden.
It was Hayden from HWC. He's been on the show a couple of times too. So
gotcha.
Yeah. He's dope.
Yeah. So yeah, just cool, man. It was just a great experience. And like you said, being able to link and meet people, talk with people that share the same hobby and passion that you do is what else could you ask for?
It's a bigger hobby than we think it is. It's definitely a bigger hobby than our wives think it is.
Yes.
First and foremost, though, Chuck and David, those free tickets that you hooked me up with Supercon with that year.
Yeah.
That's who it went to.
Sweet. Heck yeah, man. Oh, awesome.
So thank you, gentlemen. Yeah. So it was awesome. Because of you guys that I was able to actually experience that. So thank you. Much appreciate that.
You know, that's exactly what we had hoped, to someone that really put them to use. So that's awesome to hear.
Indeed. Thank you. As a matter of fact.
So it's come full circle.
There you go.
There they are.
Got it.
Yep. They're not going anywhere. They're right here on the bed.
Yeah. So kind of funny how that all came full circle.
Yeah, that's really cool.
But yeah, so Dee, the thing that I find most impressive with you, and the reason why I love working with you when it comes to, creating content and stuff. I mean, obviously, like you said, we have a great friendship. Just talk to each other over the phone, BS, and, talk about diecast. Some of it's not diecast related, but in the aspect of content creation, the thing that I find really great about you is that you provide so much in-depth information about the 1/1 scale cars. You know so much about chassis codes, paint codes, what options were available on this model, what's different about this model, same car, different trim. And so I think that's fantastic about you. And I can never say enough or talk about it enough when it comes to you. Let's go way, way back and start with like your development of love for 1/1 scale stuff. When did that start and what did you find yourself gravitating to the most?
So I've just been a car person, like basically my whole life, ever since I was a little kid. I did collect Hot Wheels but I had Hot Wheels when I was, really, really young. As a matter of fact, there's a picture of me at my grandparents' wedding, and I've got a Hot Wheel in each hand. I'm standing at the front of the steps of the church, and that's my picture for that event. In having that, I used to line them up. I would play, but I always like created scenarios. So they were going through McDonald's or they were at, the movies or whatever. And so I guess it kind of all started from there when I turned 16 and I got my own car. My first car was a Honda Accord. Before I got my first car, I was into muscle cars, really. I wanted to get a Trans Am, a Camaro, or those were the main two cars that I was after. So I grew up watching Knight Rider, like one of my favorite shows as a child. Right. So I'd always loved Firebirds, TAs, etc. A-Team was another one. So the van, right. It seemed like all these shows that I watched and that I was attracted to were all focused around vehicles.
Yep.
So I guess that's where it all was rooted from. So Again, first car was the Accord. Didn't do really anything to it. Muffler clamped a muffler tip on it. I didn't even get it welded on, right? Just some clamps on there.
Right.
I had, what else did I do to that car? I took the intake filter out and just ran the open box, right? So I beat that car. Eventually I sold that. And actually for my first car that I paid for, my parents traded that in, and then I made the monthly payments on a 1999 Acura Integra.
Nice.
And so first time I sat in that car, it had 63 miles on it. So it was brand new, my first ever. I was, let's see, it was a 99. I was 18 at the time. But payments were like $239 a month plus my insurance. So I didn't have any money to mod the car, right? But I just drove it. I loved it. I took care of it. I waxed it almost every other weekend, right? Which was completely unnecessary, but it was just made me feel good about the way it looked and driving it. So then I got a job at Acura as a service porter, just bringing customer cars to and from the front. So now I was making a little bit better money and I could get a discount on parts, right? So now the game changed. So I'm at work one day and this guy comes through, older gentleman. He has a green GSR and he's got like a lip kit on it. And I'm like, whoa. And the reason he brought the car in was we did a full CompTech package on it. So CompTech was kind of like they're not made by Honda, but they were like Honda approved, right? And they were also a sponsor for the race teams back in the day, real-time racing for the Acura Integras back in the day. But we did a full CompTech package. So intake header, exhaust, I think like sway bars and some other stuff on the car. So I bring the car up and I'm looking at it. I'm like, this thing is amazing. Like, where'd you get the lip kit? He goes, oh, right here at the dealer. And I'm like, what? In the parts department? So that began the modding of that car. I got rid of the Integra. I got an RSX and that car got even more modded. And now I'm into my Accord. So love for cars, again, it's just always been there, man. Like that's really the only thing that kind of, like Jesse says in Fast and the Furious, it just kind of makes me, calms me down, right?
Yeah, heck yeah, man. That's a great story.
That's really cool. And speaking of Jesse, he's a known regular at the Diecast Supercon, Chad Lindbergh. I saw him a few times while we were there. Didn't get a chance to talk to him this go around, but maybe next time. So, Dustin, I'm curious here because, like you said, you talked about diecasts of all scales, and it sounds like you've turned our friend Derek to the dark side a little bit because we talk mostly about 164s, and now all of a sudden he's talking about all this 1/18th stuff.
That's crazy talk, man.
What is the deal with 1/18th scale? Why do you like it so much? And what got you into that scale?
So I think 1/18 offers like a really great level of realism and depending on the brand, like replicating the real car. So I think that's amazing because that's basically like why I collect diecast, right? Is because I love cars. I love all cars. I appreciate them. I don't want to single out any one genre of cars. Before my first like real good purchase, which was my R34, I did have some Formula One 1/18 scales. And again, it's just like the level of realism and just being able to replicate that and see all the details even more defined. You just can't beat it. You really can't. And plus, I can't afford like 1/12 or 1/10 scale, but so 1/18 is like a good medium.
That's a good segue to my first question on 1/18 scale. And let me talk to the viewers for a second. Like, this is a good episode. We've got two solid 1/18 scale collectors in the house today. So we're going to focus on that scale because we often don't do anything but 1/64. So give us an idea, DeeMo, about maybe where someone who wants to dabble in this scale, what are they getting into money-wise just to get started? Like maybe an entry-level brand and a price range just as we get started looking at some of these cool cars.
Entry level for 1/18 as far as like that I would recommend would be like Solido. They're a good entry level. Bibarago is a good entry level. Even Jada is a decent entry level, and Jada you can find at at least Target. I'm trying to think if Walmart does 1/18 Jada or not. I don't know if Walmart does. I know you can at Target, but So yeah, those three brands are great entry levels. You're still going to get really nice detail and from what I've seen of those brands, good quality as well. Generally, you can get those anywhere in like, I'd say probably like the $60 to $80 range at most. Maybe if it's like a special edition or something like that, but generally, and I think the ones at Target, you might even be able to go as low as like 40 or $50, depending on what model it is.
Cool. Well, as we kind of dive into this new scale for Diecast Breakdown reviews, anyway, we've asked Derek and Dustin or DeeMo to maybe pull out a couple of their favorites, and let's start. I want to start with the Skyline that is on DeeMo's Diecast. That is absolutely insane. We got to start with, has to be kind of like one of the best overall presentations in this scale. Talk about what all you get with it, who made it, and if you want to share the price, that's cool. If not, don't worry about it.
So I'm going to put some gloves on real quick just because I like to keep the model clean. I don't like wiping on it or getting fingerprints. But so this is going to be a Motor Helix brand. This is my first and now second motor, or it was my first. It's my second total Motor Helix. But the reason I went with the Motor Helix, so Motor Helix, Auto Art, and there's some other brands, Ignition. I'm trying to think of who else make good R34s. Those are like the three major that I can think of right away. Ignition's going to be resin, so it doesn't have opening parts. Auto Art and Motor Helix are very, very similar. I ended up going with the Motor Helix because you get some extra pieces. So Motor Helix, for just a tad bit more than the Auto Arts, they give you this like legit engine stand or engine hoist. It has a working pump and everything. It's got the hook on there. And so people will be like, well, what do you need that for?
It's crazy. Sorry. That's why I'm like flipping out.
This is wild.
Yeah. So they give you a 1/18 scale full complete swap, which is just outrageous.
And that engine comes in a 164 acrylic. So it comes in an acrylic display case.
Full case, just like you would get for a 164 scale Motor Helix model. So, and it's like no extra cost. It just comes in the box with the car.
That's bananas.
Yeah.
Man, you did such a good job. Like to Derek's point about the car knowledge, like it is on full display in DeeMo's video because he's talking about, what turbos are connecting to what, just.
Yep.
It's an amazing video.
This particular engine is and I don't know how blurry it gets or how clearly you can see, but printed right here in the front of the valve cover, it says Z2. So this is the engine from a Z-Tune R34, and Z-Tunes were like specially made. The model this one came with, or the model of this car, is actually a CRS, which both are built by the Nismo factory, but the CRS is a refresher program.
Dang.
So kind of like a resto mod program where you can take your old Skyline to Nismo, and depending on the level of whatever you want, you can get it basically fully refreshed. You can do just exterior body, you can do suspension, or you can do a complete rebuild, and they'll tear the car down to a bare frame, bare chassis, bare body, and just rebuild the car from the ground up. Basically a 0-mile car.
So both of y'all know that car and probably know a lot certainly more than I do. When you're looking at that and holding it in hand, like what surprises you? Like, oh, dang, they even got that right.
Carbon fiber B-pillar, which is 100%. The only thing it doesn't have is the Nismo badge at the bottom of it, but 100% spot on. This particular model is a modified version, so you got the black TE37s, which are just ridiculous. Tires, Bridgestone Potenzas on there, which again, spot on. Carbon fiber rear slat on the rear wing, spot on. So, I mean, everything that I would expect to see on this car. What I don't have is.
Just FYI, DeeMo is the guru on Midnight Purple when it comes to Skylines. How accurate is that Midnight Purple?
Perfect. Like absolutely perfect. I was super amazed. And what I was really more impressed by when I got this in hand was I compared it to the RLC 34 Midnight Purple, and Hot Wheels did an amazing job on that car. They really yeah, replicating that color was just absolutely amazing.
You held them up side by side on a video call, and they were almost identical, which
Yeah,
is crazy.
I was really surprised. When they announced that the R34 was going to be color shift, I kind of expected Mattel to cheap out and give us the color shift from the Datsun Z, right? Because they already have a mixture for it. It's just easy. They can just go ahead and spray it and be done. But they didn't. And I was like pleasantly surprised about that. But I fully expected it when they announced it. Back to David's question, the thing I found the most, I guess, about this model that I was just insanely spot on. So the Z-Tune hood, which came on the original Z-Tune, they use a style of the Z-Tune hood for the CRSs. So up here is a carbon fiber intake box, which only comes on the Z-Tune hood. And you can kind of see it a little bit better there.
Yeah.
So it connects to this intake box. This intake box here sucks cold air through the front of the bumper and then deposits it into the actual intake box going into your turbos. So the fact that they replicated that and had that spot on was just kind of amazing to me. And the small, tiny hood prop, just, yeah, everything about this is outrageous. Let's see if we can take a quick look inside.
Yeah, the seats look good. Good night, man.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the trim panels. Holy cow.
Does that model has functional steering, right?
It does.
It does. There you go, steering wheel turning.
So are the seats right?
Yes, that is the correct seat for a CRS. I actually have a Z-Tune. I have it, but I haven't done my video on it yet. But it's actually sitting right next to me, so maybe we'll sneak peek it, and we can.
You grab that while Derek, you get ready to show whatever you want to show.
I got a couple here I can show. I can show the one I'm filming right now, and then I can give a little sneak peek on the one.
Yeah,
next
sneak
unboxing.
peek.
Yeah. So as far as I go, this is my latest filming right here. Still working on editing this one, but this
really,
is
really surprised you got a Porsche.
Mm-hmm.
I know, right? I just figured I'd try something a little different here.
It's on brand.
Yeah, but this is a 118. This is a 118 Spark 97 GT3. So this is an actual Falcon livery that raced on Nürburgring. Fantastic model. It's a sealed model. It's a resin model, so therefore no opening parts. But from what I've come to find out, Spark is one of the leaders in quality. I mean, just absolutely insane. This one has quite a story to it because it is a used one. And then another model I've become quite fond of is going to be TSM. And for those who don't know TSM, the same thing as Mini GT. All you 164 guys out there collecting Mini GT, it's the same exact thing. So they're called TSM, or Top Speed Model, in 118, and this is the Roxy. And I'm super excited to show everybody why, instead of paying $200 plus for a Hot Wheels Roxy Chase, you should use that money and you should invest in something like this. Hashtag just saying.
Spot on.
Invest.
Spot on.
Yeah. No, that's super cool.
Some 118 that I didn't grab because they're all up there in cases, and I didn't want to take the chance of dropping any. I have one Mini Champs. I have another TSM Rexy, which is on top of that one. Two Sparks, one being a 991 RSR, the WeatherTech livery one. That video, the car above it is the Rebellion 9R. I'm going to be premiering that episode very soon. That's going to be the next episode. And then the one down here alone by itself, that's going to be my favorite 118 in my collection still so far, and that's my Auto Art 997 GT3 RSR. That model is fantastic. It's the most detailed diecast car that I've ever seen in my life. All opening parts, opening bonnets. I have an episode uploaded if anybody cares to see it, but if you like harnesses that are actually made of cloth, if you like piping and hosing and ducting and just all kinds of crazy stuff, go check out that episode, and I think you'll be mind blown.
All right, so not saying any names, but is this stuff available through online dealers in the U.S., or are there brands that you have to get overseas, like some of the brands we like in 164?
For me personally, most of them can be found from distributors here in the U.S. Some stuff that maybe you're going after that's sold out or that's not like a new release or something like that, you may have to get from overseas. Like China or Japan, something like that. But for the most part, at least for what I collect, yes, they can be found here in the US. I don't think Derek has the same fortune, unfortunately.
Unfortunately not. This one and a couple more that are coming this way. This one came from the UK. A really good seller in the UK called, I believe it's called RM Models LLC, I think, on eBay. Really good. They seem to specialize in selling used pre-owned 118s. So far, so good. Again, I did have a little backstory with this one, but other than that, flawless. That's where I got that auto art from. But yeah, for me and my niche, I'm sticking solely right now with new age 911 based race cars. So that's anything 997 and up. And finding some of these models is a little difficult. So yeah, I'm finding a lot of them available overseas, but as far as some of the newer stuff that's still just recently coming out of production, I'd recommend checking out Wholesale Diecast Models on eBay. They're located in California and really, really great pricing and very fast shipping.
Don't touch that dial. Diecast Breakdown will be right back after these messages. Diecast Breakdown is produced in partnership with Twice Diecast and Driven Dreams Org on YouTube. Check out their channels in the video description and subscribe for more epic diecast content.
Hey, this is Larry Wood.
This is Derek from Honest Diecast.
Hey, this is Chad Reed from Round 2.
This is Mike from Gaslands.
The SRT Joe Vita Show.
This is Champion DJ K.
This is Mad Vision here. This is Diecast Dude.
And you're watching Diecast Breakdown.
And now, the thrilling conclusion of this week's episode of Diecast Breakdown.
Before I got into 164, I did 124 scale, and my dad was the 118 scale collector in the family. And I had some 118 scale. Most of my stuff was movie car related. And then I realized that there was a space concern with my stuff. So I decided to embrace almost entirely 164. There are a few that I do have still in my collection that are 118. I was going to show off mine. It's not nearly as fancy as yours, but these are very, very cool. These are, believe it or not, a lot of people don't believe me when I say this, these are actually Hot Wheels. So the first one is this 1963 VW Bug, Herbie the Love Bug from Hot Wheels Elite. And this was designed by a friend of the show, Brendan Vituski. He is a big Herbie the Love Bug fan, as am I. And this is not going to be nearly as fancy as the vehicles that you're showing off. But what I love about this one is that it has a ton of movie detail to it. It has the antenna where it should be. It has the right color stripes on it, which people often get wrong. The location of the decals is correct. The wheels and tires, which are almost always wrong. It had hubcapless wheels and wider racing tires on it. Details from the movie, like the vehicle is sabotaged at one point and the bad guys cut the spare tire into a pizza. So the spare tire has lines in it, scored in it. Those are actual embedded lines. It's not paint. It's an actual separate molded piece to show where the tire would have been sliced up. The inside, we've got seat belts on the seat the way that they were in the movie. There's a gas can in the back, which is used in the movie. You got the hand grips up there in the top corner of the windows here that do play a part in the movie. Also, VW did not officially license the vehicle for the movie, so the VW logo is removed from the body of the vehicle. But again, not super detailed like the stuff that y'all have, but this is my show and tell, and since I've got one to show off, it does have a nice little engine in it. It's not particularly plumbed or whatever, but it is, for what it was, like these were, I think, about $100 when they were new. And really, for me, the fact that it was done with a ton of detail in mind for the movie, I thought was very, very cool. So,
That's
I think that the championship winning line for 118, and if anybody's thinking about going 118, I think the winning phrase would be detail and accuracy, because it almost doesn't matter which brand you go with. So many of these companies and these models are just capturing all the detail, like you said, Chuck, with Herbie, is everything is so accurate compared to the movie. And then, you have people that are into paint codes and factory options that are looking at these models saying, wow, they got that down to a T.
Right. Hot Wheels did quite a few movie and TV cars. They did like the A-Team van, they did the Ecto-1. I think they did Knight Rider, and they gave them all like the same level of detail. Now, what was crazy was they did another Herbie. This is from the Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo movie. And again, like the wheels are different because it had white wheels in the middle, not the black hubs. It had raised white letter, Goodyear GT radials. It's got the spotlight that it would have had. The blue on the stripe was darker. The mirror was square and not round. The seats are different because these are the seats that they used. They had screen in them so that the driver who was sitting in the back when Herbie's driving by himself would look through that black mesh in the middle of the screen. That was a unique seat that was made for the movie vehicle. It was not a stock VW seat. And they included that. The decals for the Trans France race registration that he was in are in there. So, yeah. And again, it was almost like a completely different, not quite a different casting, but like on Herbie in that movie, his antenna is retractable. So they made it a retractable. He's got the external fuel cap that he has in the movie. If you open the hood, there's a diamond inside it. That is there's a plot line where some guys steal a diamond and hide it in Herbie and hide it in the gas tank.
Okay.
Just
crazy.
very, very fun little things. But so like I get stuff like that, like, cause I really like when people go out of their way, like you said, for movie accuracy, for detail and things like that. And the fact that, it was so cool to have Brendan on the show and talk to him about how he actually got, to talk about paint codes. He got somebody who owns an actual movie car to send him part, like they when they restored it, they staved some of the decals from the original car. And he got a scrap of the real stripes from the actual movie car to use as color reference for that car. So, all those little things, like to get it absolutely perfect. And again, it's wild to me that had the Hot Wheels logo on it, because it's so, no offense to Hot Wheels, but they're not exactly known for their accuracy when it comes to getting things proportionally correct or getting every single little detail correct. Because, the Hot Wheels Herbie that came out in the main line was awful. It was completely wrong body style. It was white. It wasn't pearl gray. It was, the stripes are wrong. The font is wrong. Everything about it is wrong. Doesn't have the sunroof, but, whatever. So, and that same company did this thing that's absolutely gorgeous. So that cracks me up. But anyway, one was $1 and one was way more.
Those are sick. They really are.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They're awesome. And they're very hard to find now. Unfortunately, they have not released them in a long time. The Herbie license is a real pain to get for diecast, because not only are you dealing with Disney, you're also dealing with Volkswagen, which is one of the most difficult automotive brands to work with, because you got to have the little hologram sticker, and they're very, very litigious and meticulous about stuff. So people just frequently won't work with Volkswagen because it's just a pain. Not as big a pain as Ferrari, apparently, but still a big pain.
Hey, you guys will be happy to know that there is currently a 93 Saturn SL in 1/18 scale diecast. It's only $580.
Holy moly.
Yeah. So if you're looking for that crown jewel in your collection, gentlemen, get after it.
Well, it's official. David has found his grail.
No, if ever there was a gateway drug to a larger scale, that would be it. DeeMo, you don't know this, but I've been lobbying for a Saturn 93 and diecast with everybody that comes on the show, and I'm sorry you caught that stray today on your interview, but I thought it'd be cool if it was in a larger scale, and we're getting closer. It's not exact to what I need, but we're getting closer. One day we'll get there.
Or Hot Wheels made a 164 Saturn. It was like a special
The Ion. Yeah,
it was the Ion. Okay, so I have to look up. You're looking for a SL, you said?
93 SL, $79.99 off the lot, brand new. That's what I need.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Somebody back in the day, it looks like, what is this? There was a Saturn L300 sports sedan in 18 scale, but that's not yours either. That's the big Saturn.
Yep. No, we're looking for the base model.
You can get that on eBay right now for $145. And there's a Saturn 3-door.
Hey, Derek, get us off this Saturn train. Give DeeMo another question.
No, we are gonna. Okay. This is now the Saturn show.
We're riding it till the wheels fall off.
With pleasure, DeeMo. He has a good appreciation for the Hot Wheels Elite 18 or whatever, because you have some F1 cars, correct? Because we were talking about Ferrari, we were talking about 118, so Yeah. I don't know if you want to show them or if you just want to talk about them, D, but I know that I think you got a couple.
I do. Let me go ahead and grab them because I didn't bring those out, but
Yep.
I can take them out real quick. Give me one second.
Call a timeout. For every car I see on my shopping search, when it's a Saturn, you add another digit in front of it. I'm telling y'all, this is high demand stuff.
If your last name is John.
It's not that one, right, David?
It is. Oh, that's so close. That's so close.
No, is that like a dealer exclusive?
I think it is based on that box. Yeah.
It is a 118 SL2.
Crap, man. That's
cool.
That's like 3 years too new. I think that's like a 96 or 7. Wonder who made that. Looks OTT.
It's not very there. I mean, it's just one color plastic engine bay, like a one-piece engine bay.
Yeah, but that's pretty much what you got on that car.
I mean, you're just talking about the 90s here too, so these model cars were not that much.
That model was made as well as the car was.
That's pretty cool. That's one thing that's really cool about the 118 too is there's a lot of dealer exclusives out.
Yeah.
There's quite a handful with Porsche.
Freaking Rolls Royce, man. I think they're like $20,000 to have a duplicate of your vehicle when you buy your Rolls.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you got enough money to buy a new Rolls Royce, that ain't nothing.
This is true.
Yeah.
It's like a $200 18 scale for us, I guess.
That's still not yours, right, David?
Nope.
David, we're getting close. We're like we're right on the cusp.
No,
it's got two mirrors, so I know it's not yours.
It's a unicorn. Yeah. I had the passenger side.
The side mirror was optional for David's car.
$95, and my dad was like, nope, he doesn't need it.
Builds character.
It's crazy.
All right.
We are completely off the rails now.
All right. Yep. Ready when you guys are.
All right. Get us off this Saturn train, DeeMo. Save us.
All right. So just to kind of piggyback off of your 118 scale Herbie.
Yeah.
And Hot Wheels actually, I agree with you. They make an excellent 118 scale. And like you said, nobody kind of pictures Hot Wheels as being like the most defined or the most accurate. But when they do 118 scale, they really step their game up. So I do have 3 here that I had prior. I've had them for a while. One is a Ferrari. The other 2 are F1 cars. So I'll show you the road car Ferrari at first, which is going to be the 118 La Ferrari.
Okay.
Crazy. Like,
dang.
Caliper, rotor, wheel detail. Amazing.
This is Hot Wheels.
It is Hot Wheels. Yeah. It's crazy. I said the same thing when I saw it. I was like, you know what? This is like really worth it.
Yeah.
Engine bay, outrageous. You can see the spark plug wires and, like the detail. There's carbon fiber bits on the intake boxes, intake manifold, etc. Just outrageous. You got your cooling fans and everything up front with some more carbon fiber.
Do you know what year that was made, DeeMo's? Are we looking at something 20 years old? Or?
13.
Okay. All right.
So about 10, 12 years old. And then interior detail is just crazy.
Oh, I love that. The detail on those seats.
They even got the steering wheel shape right on that.
Yep. Yeah. All the paddle shifters are in there, all the buttons, your little knobs and whatnot for changing driving settings. And
Look at that rear view mirror, man. That thing, the reflection in that mirror was pretty.
Yep. So again, 118 scale, Hot Wheels, insane. Undercarriage detail, well, on a LaFerrari there isn't much anyway, right? It's going to be all smooth panel, but really sick there. So then I have the Ferrari. This is Fernando Alonso's Ferrari, and he won the China GP. I want to say this was in his 2004 car, if I remember correctly. But again, just detail crazy. Your Pirellis. The tires are even like scrubbed.
Wow. I was about to ask. They look track worn kind of.
Yes. Yeah. They're not like shiny like they would be brand new. So I thought that was amazing. All the correct sponsors, your carbon fiber chassis and suspension bits down in here. So the only thing this one didn't have, which would be super cool, would be like a removable engine cover to see the engine. But I understand price would go up probably considerably doing that. See if I can get a good shot. So there's the steering wheel and the driver cockpit. You got your harnesses down in there.
Now, did that one come with any like accessories, like a helmet or anything? Or
No, sir. Nope. Just the car itself. But they are cloth harnesses. They're like glued to the seat, so they're flat, but they are like actual fabric and material.
mm-hmm.
All of the antennas up front, carbon fiber front suspension there, and then all your aero bits on the wing, including these little tiny pieces that they use to adjust. Let me go to this side. That they use to adjust the aero on the front wing. So more downforce, less downforce. A couple cranks when they come in. We'll switch all that up. So really, really, really sick. Put that one off. And then this one is my favorite. It's an older one. It's not as detailed, I don't feel like. It does have a driver, but this one is my favorite because this was the Buzzin' Hornets, and this is a Mugen powered Jordan Honda. So to have the Mugen on there with Honda and everything was just, couldn't pass it up. Rain light. This one, tires aren't scrubbed like they were on the Ferrari. They're more in a new state, but you do get your driver down in there, which is Damon Hill. So, I have zero complaints about Hot Wheels 118 scales. They make amazing products. And to see, and I don't know much about Herbie, but to hear Chuck talk about it, and obviously he's a true fan of the movie and the car, so he knows every little detail, right? And all of that means something. So that's awesome that they got all that in there.
I have a very complicated relationship with Herbie because it was a show it was a movie series I loved growing up, and I admit they are objectively terrible movies, but they are fun, and I enjoy watching them now with my kid, and he likes watching them. I mean, and that's who they're for. They're for children. So at the time, I thought they were very cool, and as a kid, I always wanted the toys, and there were no toys growing up for Herbie as a kid, and so when they started making these things, I was like, oh well, I better snap these up, and I'm glad I did because They every now and then they come out with one, and it's been 20 years now since the last Herbie movie, the Lindsay Lohan one. So
too long.
Unless they make another one, I'm not expecting any new Herbie stuff to come out. So
I watched Theo,
and that's really cool that you got both variations, Chuck. I mean, that's impressive that you took it upon yourself to see the difference and get both of them.
Well, I had to because I saw the difference, and I thought it was really cool that they, because here's the thing: like Disney wasn't exactly known for their continuity. So as the movies changed, each movie Herbie changes. Like there's significant changes to the vehicle. So there's and even within the movie itself, sometimes they're using older small window VW bugs, and they're using oval ones that they had to chop out the back to make it look like the bigger rear window. Because it's kind of as close as it could be to what the hero car of that movie should have been. So it's fun. But anyway, and
it's kind of like Bumblebee with Transformers.
Oh yeah, Bumblebee has been a million different things. So I did really like the standalone movie they did with Bumblebee, though.
All right. So at this time, look, DeeMo, give your final sales pitch for all of us 164 collectors. What's your parting words to give this scale a try?
If you're passionate about a specific car, or a specific brand or style, right? Manufacturer, that's your car. 118 is going to bring you much more joy and much more detail of being that exact car. And especially if you've got a bunch of 164s that are just sitting in a closet, but you can have 118 that's really, really detailed sitting out kind of as a discussion piece. Maybe it's on your living room table. Maybe it's in your bedroom. Maybe it's in your office, right? Maybe, where you work every day. Something that you can just look at in the middle of your day and go, I love it. It rejuvenates you every time you pass by it, every time you look at it, every time you absorb it. So just, it's not something you can go crazy with like 164 because, again, space becomes a problem very, very quickly. But it's a very specified thing. So if you got that niche, you've got that car that you love that's at the core of you, Chuck with Herbie, me with JDM and Skylines, Derek with Porsches, right? You with Saturns. Get that car. Get that car. Because once you have it and you have the opportunity to view it and absorb it every day, there's no better feeling.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
Well said indeed.
You heard what he said, Derek. Don't go crazy.
Yeah, that's a dangerous road to go down.
Easier said than done.
Yeah, Derek jumped in the deep end.
At least he's sticking to just race cars, right?
For now.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I got so many people like showing me like 118 like RWB Porsches and like older Carreras and 918s and 917s and stuff, and I'm like, wow, that is gorgeous. But you know what? I am focusing on modern day 911 based race cars. That is it. Like, and that's one thing too, is that the 118, it really forces you to really be specific. You know, okay, I have this much to spend. What model car am I getting? What does it have to have? Because I only have so much space and I only have so much money to invest into this car. So much like Dee and I promoted with premium brand diecast, that it was good that it costs more than Hot Wheels, because it really forces you to make your decision wisely. This is 20. I think in the end it benefits. It's really beneficial for detail aspect, space. Like DeeMo's said, talking points. It's an amazing hobby. I wish I picked it up sooner.
All right, touche. And if you want to get real fancy, I did just see an ad for this DeLorean that's coming out. Has a hover base, has motorized wheels that fold down, the doors open, the windows in the doors go down and up.
That's crazy.
It comes with a hoverboard that hovers on a magnet base. It has Biff's beer can and cane from when he steals the DeLorean. The lights light up. It has sequential running lights on the bottom, the headlights, the turn signals, all that stuff light up, and it sits on a base that makes it look like it's hovering. And yeah, it's bananas. It's also $1,000.
Who makes that?
Shoot, I knew you were going to ask that.
Let's see. I think Hot Wheels did a 118 of
They
the
did do a 118 Back to the Future Time Machine.
We should talk about those auto art Paganis onto ours and those LCD model,
Sheesh, those are crazy.
Every single little bolt, actuating suspension, functional steering, parts come off, actual like dry carbon fiber pieces on the underside of the bonnets. I mean, wow.
Yeah, no, that's about all you can say.
Yeah.
Nutty.
All right, Chuck. You tease us? Were you teasing?
You know, they got that really fancy self-transforming Optimus Prime that came out not too long ago. They're doing a Bumblebee version too, and it's about $1,000 as well.
These are diecast models, correct?
Yeah.
Here we go. Blitzway. Does this ring a bell for anybody?
Never heard of it.
Haven't heard of it. Wow.
It's a 1/6 scale.
But yeah, 1/6 scale. That's why it's so expensive. But
yeah, put a deposit down. Wow.
Honestly, that price is not bad for a 1/6 scale.
Not at all. For that type of detail, and if it has
look at that.
And the magnetic hovering, motorized wheels, motorized windows.
Yeah.
And it lights up everywhere. It's got the can on there.
Dude.
This is bananas. It's wild. Do they have the video? Oh, I hope they have the video. Yeah, the video. You gotta watch the video.
Oh boy.
I wonder if that brand makes a Knight Rider, because I would buy it in a heartbeat. What?
I don't know why it's playing at double speed, but
that works.
Wow. Look at that.
Way. That's crazy.
Good Lord.
So
I would never imagine.
It uses that same electromagnetic stuff that you see those football helmets floating. Is that what you're thinking? Okay. I
think so.
Wow.
But, you know, at that scale, though, like 30 inches long. Yeah. They did a 1/6 scale Ecto 1 too, which is bananas, because the Ecto 1, that's a 59 Cadillac, so that thing's got to be 4 feet long,
just like the size of your coffee table.
Yeah,
like that takes up the whole table.
Yeah, Adam Savage from Tested and Mythbusters got one, and it's insane. It's enormous. So and they had that one set so you could do it as Ghostbusters 1 or Ghostbusters 2. It had all the pieces to do either, and it did light up and did all the stuff. But yeah, these 1/6 ones, they are bananas now that are coming out. Somebody did like a James Bond car that was like ridiculous like that. That was like a 6-figure thing, but it came on a base, and you'd push the buttons on the base, and it would do the little, like, the spinner knockoff hubcaps would come out, and the bulletproof thing would pop up, and the ejection seat would go. And yeah. Anywho. All right, let's wrap this thing up. We're getting way off track here. There's dogs interrupting us.
I know.
Dogs saying, hey, you should be done by now. So, all right. Well, DeeMo, it has been a pleasure having you on. And, I think
Likewise.
you've done a good job of selling 1/18th scale. I have a newfound appreciation for the 1/18th scales that I do have, and I will keep an eye out for some special cars in the future should they strike my fancy. And Derek, God be with you as you go down this dark path that so few of us dare to follow. We wish you Godspeed, sir. So,
Thanks,
all
sir.
right. Well, thank you both. And thank you, watchers, listeners, wherever you are, for making it to the end of another episode of Diecast Breakdown. Remember to check out trevordreams.org. That's where we're raising 25,000 cars in 2025 for kids in need all over the world. It's a really cool project done by Mark, who is not with us right now, but he will be in future episodes, and he'll tell you all about that. But in the meantime, you can check it out at drivendreams.org, and you can visit diecastbreakdown.com, where you can find all the links to this show, our side projects, and support the channel over at Patreon, or click the little join button down below. You can do that. And if you don't have any money in your budget because you just bought yourself a bunch of 1/18th scale cars, you can hit the share button. That is the best way to let people know we've got something worth talking about. At least we hope we do. We think we do. And we hope you do too. And as always, we want to thank you for coming along with us for the ride. So until next time, stay fresh, cheese bags.
Thanks for listening to Diecast Breakdown. If you enjoyed today's show, please rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and tell a friend to listen in. Find Diecast Breakdown on your favorite social media platforms, or visit diecastmedianetwork.com to learn more about this and our other projects. Diecast Breakdown is a presentation of Flying Valiant and the Diecast Media Network.